This video is part one of possibly a many-part series in regards to the gods. First and foremost, I will discuss the Allfather, Odin. His names are numerous. He has more names than any mortal man can remember. But most often referred to as Odin. Odin is the chief of the gods of the Aesir specifically. He was around right off the rip, right from the very beginning of time. Now he is considered the wisest of all gods. He knows everything. In order to have acquired this ability, he had sacrificed his eye for wisdom. He did so at Mimir's well. Mimir was one of the beings that guards the three wells of Urd. These wells feed Yggdrasil, the tree of life. The well Mimir specifically guarded was the well of wisdom. And when Odin approached Mimir, Mimir said that you must be willing to sacrifice that which no man has yet come to sacrifice. You must sacrifice your eye so you may drink from the well. And then, and only then, will you gain all the wisdom that the well has to offer. So Odin plucked out his eye and drank from the well. He knows all that has happened in the past, all that is happening now, and all that will happen. He did this in order to prepare himself based off of premonition he had in regards to Ragnarok. And he was seeking wisdom so he could find a way to save humanity and Yggdrasil, which is essentially everything that there ever is, was, or will be. A lot of people pledge themselves solely to Odin. It's a very honorable but difficult lifestyle. Odin is often, as well as a god of wisdom, noted as a god of death. Specifically, a warrior's death. Though he's not necessarily a warrior god. Those who pledge themselves to Odin and die in honorable combat, and I say combat, go to Valhalla. Almost everybody has heard of Valhalla. It is Odin's hall. It is where you drink, you fight, you feast, and every night, every day, you die. But in the morning, you are reborn young and healthy again, to do it all over for eternity. Some, this may be glorious. I know I sure wouldn't mind it. But this is not everybody's paradise, dream afterlife. And it must be borne in mind that those who go to Valhalla, the Einherjar, they are not just doing this, what they do in Valhalla, for the sake of doing it. They are preparing themselves for Ragnarok. They are Odin's chosen warriors. They will fight to save humanity, to save all that there ever is, was, or will be, alongside Odin and the other gods. It's a very honorable place to go. Now, I could go on forever about Odin, about stories of Odin, things Odin has done. But I'm going to summarize a couple things here. Odin, he is not the equivalent of the Christian God. He's not a purely beneficial God. You must bear in mind that we're heathens and our morals are not like what was taught through Christianity. Odin, god of death, god of the gallows, god of wisdom, god of war, and god of magic. He, just as you'll learn with many of the other gods, does not always do things that are considered by today's standards as morally good. But we have to bear in mind that our definition of good and wrong, right and evil, it's going to be hard, especially for new heathens, to change our outlook on this. It might take several generations, but what Odin does is what any fine leader does, and he looks at the end game. He looks at the means to the end. All leaders do this. Odin does this. Odin, historically speaking, was the only god that demanded human sacrifice as opposed to blood sacrifices. In modern day, obviously, we can't do that, and we don't do that. Instead, we honor him with mead. We offer him a plethora of mead. Now, for some of you, you might not yet know what mead is. Mead is honey wine. It is wine made from honey. Oftentimes, other ingredients are added. Now, this, I do believe, is very different from the mead Odin partook in. But it's the closest we can come. Odin sustained himself solely on mead. He consumed nothing else. So, it makes it for a good offering. I will discuss more on some of the other gods, and I'm going to wrap this video up with a quick lineage of Odin. Odin is married to the goddess Frigg, and his son, among many others, is Thor. But for the time being, we're just going to focus on Thor as being Odin's son, and Frigg as Odin's wife. Tune in for the next video, and we'll be discussing Thor. If you like this video, please subscribe and leave any comments in the comment feed.